Last time we spoke about how to build confidence by setting yourself the right level of challenge, so by getting into action. But how you treat yourself is also really important for growing confidence, and it's important for bouncing back from setbacks. So being a high achiever and a perfectionist, I admit it, I do put myself under pressure in certain situations where I want to do really well. And in the past, when I've struggled to show my best skiing, I've been really down on myself, especially if the struggles continue. And you know, I remember one pretty dark memory. It was at the Freeride World Tour in 2015 in Haines, Alaska. It was a historical event, like the first Freeride World Tour stop staged in Alaska, and I wanted to just show a really impressive line. And we actually had 2 weeks of standby because of the weather. And so that meant 2 weeks of planning the line and studying. And then finally, it was time to start.
Held in the start gate there for a while Hazel Birnbaum retrieves her lost ski.
That is quite difficult to hold that tension. When you're already in the start gate, you are building up that tension to perform well and to go through your run again. And getting pushed back or delayed is not easy to handle.
Marina Huber making her way around that picture, going to drop off the bottom of it.
Great technique.
Really solid.
And 40 seconds into my line, I crashed on my first air and I was so devastated.
Oh, big drop!
Oh, that was a big drop.
Oh, and she...
Yeah, that was a big bummer. That if she would have stuck that one, she would have been #1 for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the heli, we were being flown back down into the valley, and I was crying behind my goggles. And I remember telling myself, you know, you just don't have what it takes. You just can't do this. And that was really, really hurtful and really damaging for my confidence. Don't do that. The master skill here is to learn to be a good inner coach to yourself. What does that mean? So that means to treat yourself with kindness, to be patient even when you're struggling and you're having difficulties to perform, you're struggling to perform, to not compare yourself with others, to not even compare yourself with how you used to perform, but to try and just keep an open mind, a curious mind about why you're struggling in this situation. When you're being angry at yourself, furious, frustrated, putting yourself under pressure, you know, I should be able to do this by now. Why can't I do this already? You know, this is ridiculous. You're not being a good inner coach to yourself. Don't do that. So there's a good exercise you can do to get out of this negative cycle, and I welcome you to try it. So the first thing is to build awareness of when we're treating ourselves badly, because, you know, all of our actions are accompanied with an inner dialogue, and often we're not aware, though, of the words we're telling ourselves and of how we're talking to ourselves. It's really important, though. So what I'd invite you to do is write a journal, a kind of negativity log for 1 or 2 weeks, and I'd like you to write down all the negative things that you typically feed yourself or tell yourself when you're struggling. So when you're having difficulty performing, write that down, and that will help you becoming aware of these things. So when they come up again, you'll be able to catch them. To kind of combat this negativity, I'd like you to write a text that is supportive, that supports you when you're struggling. So maybe it's something like, you know, I'm here to challenge myself. This is exactly what I'm doing. I'm challenging myself. Focus on the process. This is all part of the process. And write that down. You can hang it up even at home, make it visible until it becomes second nature to you. So practice that dialogue until it becomes natural. So next time when you catch yourself being impatient, putting pressure on yourself or treating yourself unkindly, stop and repeat the positive inner texts to yourself, and you'll see it will make a really big difference, and it's going to help you maintain and grow your confidence.